Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here, Golden Opportunities Coaching. Welcome. If you're new, please subscribe, like, comment below. If there's something we can do for you, please comment below, and we will usually get an audio up within a couple of days. In any event, today we're going to talk about a topic that is very important, and that is the topic of the easiest ways to lose respect from people. I know most people are like, hey, well, shouldn't we talk about gaining respect? But it's easier to talk about the mistakes people make that cause them to lose respect. Therefore, if a person is really pretty smart, they can figure out that if they do the inverse of these 6 or 7 things, then they are more likely to gain a person's respect and be respectable at the end of the day. So, if you allow yourself to be bullied, in other words, you're a doormat, chances are you're going to lose respect from others. There's a difference between being kind and finding a way to be civil and finding a way to be, having an off moment where you let the bully win just because it's not worth fighting for. And if you do that once, okay. If you do that twice, might need to check into that. By the third time, though, if someone sees you being bullied, they're going to look at you and go, this person isn't credible. They're not standing up for themselves. They're not, they're not interested in making sure their opinion matters. So why should I be interested in making their opinion matter? At the end of the day, you do need to stand up for yourself. Yes, pick your spots. Certainly don't, be bullish yourself. There's no point in fighting with a bully if you're not going to make any headway. But at the end of the day, even if it's a 15-second conversation, standing up for yourself and saying, no, this isn't okay, and declaring your boundary and not letting a person cross it will gain you more respect than anything else. So another thing is interrupting people constantly. Look, at the end of the day, we all have interesting opinions and appointments and things to attend to, things that we feel called to and that we're passionate about. And sometimes we're so overcome with excitement that we overtalk somebody, overstep our boundary, and we, just yammer off at the mouth just because we're so excited. That happens. It's part of being human. It's part of being excited. It's part of being passionate. But if you constantly are cutting other people off, what you're basically saying to them is two things. Number one, I'm egotistical or arrogant enough to believe that my opinion matters more than yours. And number two, therefore, your opinion doesn't matter at all and no one should listen to you. So you don't matter because your opinion doesn't matter. And it's just a really bad form to take. I understand there's a tendency to interrupt people, especially when they're speaking about something that you know a lot about or something that you're passionate about or something where they're making a mistake and making a jackrabbit out of themselves. But the concept here is finding a way to pick your times. Remember, sometimes it's more impactful to say one really important sentence than about 5 sentences of just reinforcing your own agenda or your own point. So if you can wait it out at the end of the day, you may actually have more of an impact by saying less. Having been in the entertainment industry in various forms for over 20 years, the concept of less is more is really useful, right? So think of it like a fist fight. If you get into a fist fight with somebody, who's more dangerous? The person who throws 10 punches at you, bap, 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 but they're at 20% strength, or that person who throws that one knockout punch? Well, usually the one knockout punch, right? No one wants to mess with Mike Tyson. Reason being, if you have one knockout punch, then you're dangerous just because you never know when it's coming. Same thing can be said for choosing your words carefully. If you can measure your words, concisely and be concise and focused, you can actually have more of an impact by saying less. In other words, it's much better to say something like, I know I can help you change your life, than it is to do a 5-minute pitch on why this is true. I can do the 5-minute pitch if you ask me to, But if I make a declarative statement that impacts you, you're going to take me more seriously. So sometimes, and a lot of times, when communication is at the helm, less is in fact more. Another thing, stop selling your ideas. Look, human communication, and William Shakespeare said long ago, and it's one of my key life philosophies, that all the world is a stage, which means when we're in public, we're performing, right? We're all selling something. If you're on a date, you're selling the idea that you're a good partner. If you're at a job interview, you're selling the idea that you're capable of doing the job. If you're a parent, you're selling the idea to your kid that you know what you're talking about. If you're whatever it is, you're always selling or promoting some concept, idea, or focal point. That being said, if you come off like you're selling and not like you're trying to add value in a conversation, sooner or later you'll lose credibility, because it's like, hey, this person just cares about getting themselves over. This person just cares about being important. This person just cares about their ego. Whereas, if you do more listening than you do speaking, then when you do have something to get across, and we all have agendas, so don't pretend you don't have one, when you are putting forward your agenda, someone's more likely to listen if you've listened to them. Useful information. So, another thing, and this is a big thing for me, just on a personal level, if you don't keep your word, and my grandmother, who has since passed away, had an old adage. She said, never give a word that you're not willing to keep to your grave. And so that really changes communication, doesn't it? If every word that you spoke or every promise that you made was made to be kept until you die, would you speak less? Would you promise less? Probably. And so if you don't keep your word, and we still live in a, although this time it's probably in this phase of the world, it's if you don't stick to your text message, you lose credibility, especially if you do it on multiple occasions. Most people will forgive you once or twice, right? Most people understand that things come up. By a third time something happens, it becomes a pattern, and you're like, yeah, okay, you don't mean it. Yeah, okay, you're not serious, whatever it is. So don't give a word you don't intend to keep. Another big way to lose credibility is to not treat people like they have value. If you can't see the value in somebody, realize and recognize that they are somebody's something. They're somebody's sister, they're somebody's daughter, they're somebody's son, they're somebody's best friend, they're somebody's mom, they're somebody's dad, whatever it is. They matter to somebody, therefore their opinion by proxy of them mattering to somebody somewhere should matter to you. And if you're not showing that you value the friendship, if you're not putting time in, or you're not listening, or you're not including their opinions, or at least tolerating their opinions in some extreme cases, then ultimately you're saying they don't matter. And if you're saying they don't matter, why should they value your opinion if you don't value theirs? It's reciprocal. I don't have to agree with you to value your opinion. I don't have to like you in order to love you. In other words, the idea is I can disagree but still see value in you as a person. And trust me, in my line of work, I have to do this all the time. Difference is, when I'm coaching somebody, for me it's not about what I think. What I think is irrelevant. I don't matter in that scenario, except that I'm there as a conduit to get you to look and point a mirror at yourself and make strong, empowered decisions. I think where a lot of coaches, counselors, therapists, and the like make a mistake is they unfortunately mistakenly think that their opinion matters. Yes, it counts for something, but it counts for as much as you've been here before and you've seen this before, so so you count. But at the end of the day, it's the client that has to make the decision to change. And I think that's something that gets lost in translation a lot. So, along with keeping your word, it's don't lie. If you want to tank your influence and the level of respect that you have from others, just tell lies. Just tell lies repeatedly, constantly, consistently. Look, here's the thing. Lots of people struggle with the idea that they won't be accepted for who or what they naturally are or believe. We all have those moments. We all have those hot button issues. Is like, no, if they knew I believed this or if they knew I felt this way, they'd never accept me. And unfortunately, that's only propagated in a social media instant gratification society where you can find bashers everywhere. You can also find uplifters too, but our brains are wired to look for the negative first, so it's more likely we're going to find a basher than we are a supporter. And so, if we're lying to ourselves or we're lying to others, and every lie that we tell others begins with a lie we tell ourselves at some level. So, the act of lying begets itself. It only gets worse. It's kind of like hives or poison ivy. The more you scratch it, the more you do it, the more it occurs, the more it spreads. And so, lying, eliminated at all costs. Next to last is ego. Look, we all want to feel important. It's valuable to feel important, and what you've accomplished does matter. However, here's a truth that's going to make people uncomfortable. What you have accomplished matters to you because you're living through it and you know how hard you fought to get there. But what you have accomplished doesn't matter any more or less than anyone else, because if we're all created equally and we're all created with the same ability to have choices in life, just because I've made one choice and you've made another doesn't make you better or worse than me. And the ego says that there is the what I call the illusion of competition. In reality, competition only exists because of the ego. At the end of the day, there is enough for everyone in all things. It's just a matter of finding it, and that's really valuable. The last one that will guarantee you that you get yourself in trouble, especially when it comes to respect, is if you're seen as a person who leverages relationships. So, leveraging a relationship is looking for a way to gain from a relationship without giving back. Symbiotic, mutually beneficial relationships don't fall in this category because I'm giving and you're giving too, and we're both coming out ahead. But when a relationship becomes one-sided, where I'm getting ahead and that's my main focus is to find a way to get ahead, that is toxic, it's negative, it's ultimately a way you're going to lose respect from others because no one wants to feel like they've been used and manipulated into doing A, B, C, or D. In any event, that is our audio for now. Once again, I encourage you, if you are struggling with trying to regain your respect or be respectable, I help people with this challenge all the time. And so you can reach out on Twitter at PO Perception, or you can reach out through YouTube right here through the message section. Either way, get back to you usually within 48 hours. Would love to be of service. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.